probably figured that out
Maybe.
before that.
Yeah. No, we always knew. 24. Yep. Kelven and I back at it. The main topic tonight is best teams to never win the championship.
Yes.
So that is what we'll be getting into later. But first, as is our new setup, airing of the grievances, sports-wise. And I think I'll start with, since it's the middle of hockey playoffs, well, not the middle, it's almost over.
Yeah.
Since hockey playoffs are going on and it's a very heated time in this area, I think with hockey, one of the biggest things that bothers me is the dump and chase strategy. I just never understood it. Just flinging it into the offensive zone and hoping someone catches up to it in time before the defense.
Right.
I always thought just carry it in and I understand if there's like two guys on you and you want to try to get rid of it, but then you give them then you're behind them, And to me, it never works. I hate it. I think you should just carry it in and just skate around the net if you need to.
Yeah.
But try to protect it at
So
all
like
costs.
set up offense. Behind
like
the goalie.
Yeah, like during a line change, I can understand.
Right.
But like, if you just get it and it's you and a defensive guy and you just fling it,
right? Instead of like trying to make a move to like beat the guy.
I see it way too often, and I don't think it works enough to justify it as like a permanent thing.
Right.
But I also never played hockey, so. But just
nor do we follow that.
That's just it just bothered me. I think they should just change it. Yeah, that's about it. It's not. That's about all I got tonight.
Mine is a premature like ending of series, like in playoffs. So like they're down 0-1. That's the series. I hate
like panicking.
Right, exactly. Yeah. That's like incredibly premature. Like they lost one game. Like especially if you look at the Warriors Rockets series. It's like Houston lost the first game by double digits, and everyone's like, well, they're gonna get swept. That's the series. I'm like, no, they've been a good team all year. There's a reason why they had the best record in the league. It's not like they're not some fluke team that's just some flash in the pan type thing, They're a legitimate good team. So when they went out and won the second game by a pretty substantial margin, it's just like, oh well, are the Warriors done now? I'm like, no, this is how two good teams are supposed to be. Yeah, it's supposed to be a back and forth series. You want a 7-game series. You're not going into a series like, well, I'm hoping for 4. You want to get as many games as possible, especially if you're in the NBA. You want to get as many games as possible because that's more money, that's more revenue, that's more interest generated to your game, and it doesn't hurt that the Warriors Rockets game series started off like game 1 had the highest TV ratings in the history of the Western Conference Finals. Yeah. They hit the yes.
News to me.
And you could tell because no matter how much you like LeBron James or how much you believe in the Cavaliers and believe the fact that they're gonna win the Eastern Conference Finals again, you're not gonna sit here and tell me that it's gonna be a good series like the Rockets or Warriors are gonna play a close 7-game series against either one of those teams that are in the Eastern Conference. I mean, for as good as Boston's been, as good as well coached as they are, they don't have the 2 most talented players between Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving. So I don't think that that would pose a very interesting series. If both those players were in, then it's more interesting. And this year with the Cavs, I mean, you have LeBron James and then you have a sea of nobody else. Mm-hmm. So you can't sit here and tell me that that's going to be a riveting series. Whomever they play between the Rockets or the Warriors, that's not going to be a good matchup. It's going to be a very, very bad matchup. So it's just like the energy within the Western Conference Finals more closely resembles like the actual finals, like the actual NBA championship finals. It just seems like it's more interesting.
That just goes to show how the NBA is so lopsided.
Oh, definitely.
It's definitely West over East, and
that's why I didn't mind the idea of them doing like a fully integrated,
just the top 8 teams, right?
Yeah, the top 16 total teams.
I think 16 is a little much because it's half the league, but
yeah.
But yeah,
so lottery, so they're like the 14 lottery picks, and like like those are all the teams that just didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
They have more teams that make the playoffs than they do that, like the teams that don't.
Yeah.
Which is insane to me, but
and it's
I guess
always
hockey's the same
most
way
of the
too.
time. Well, that's always my argument when it comes to it, because hockey has a better chance of an upset. You know, it's
exactly.
Close to like a 30%.
Those are closer games.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter how much better like an Alexander Ovechkin is compared to somebody else.
Yeah.
Like a Steven Stamkos or somebody like that in this series currently going on. Like it's so close. Like, the full talent on each team is like so close and so like you can definitely tell that like they're two really good teams. You know. So it's just like you're I don't really see that many sweeps. You don't really see that many sweeps.
No, not really.
In the NHL playoffs.
Because like I think hockey is one top to bottom. It's more evenly matched. There's always one or two that are at the bottom.
Yeah,
that's just what happens.
Like like I said, you just don't have like that one player that can just dominate. Like you're gonna be like
you can't.
Like even the best player, like even with how little they actually have like get the like ice time that they have. I mean, they still get a decent amount, but like they're not playing the entire time.
A third of the game.
Yeah.
Most of the time you have 20 or 22 minutes.
Yeah, LeBron's playing almost the entire game.
Yeah.
Literally almost the entire game. So
but I agree though. I think that NBA playoffs should be top. Like 8's almost too small, but 16 is almost too high.
And like I said, I mean, their revenue is just nonstop. So so they're not gonna change anything.
That's why I have like 2 or 3 days in between games too. That's about the reason.
Yeah.
Like hockey, like will take an extra day to travel, I think, but like most of the time it's just every other day.
Right.
I was checking the schedule for the Caps Lightning series, and it's in DC. It was in DC Sunday.
Yeah.
And it was in it was in Tampa Sunday.
Yes, Tampa Sunday. They came out.
And then it was DC Tuesday.
Yeah.
DC tonight, which is Thursday, and then back to Tampa on Saturday.
Right.
Like it's every other day.
Yeah, and then like, you look at the NBA
playoffs. It's like 2 or 3 days sometimes. Like
Cleveland played on Tuesday. They don't play again until Saturday. The Rockets series.
Game 3?
That's game 3. Yeah,
game 3 will be on Saturday.
Yeah, the Rockets series. They played on Wednesday. They don't play again until Sunday.
I guess 3 days off.
Yeah.
What?
And you wonder why
in the playoffs?
Yeah, and you wonder why like they go into like the end of June. Like, go to the end of June. That's why, because they take like 3 days off in the middle of the series. It's not like they're like Boston and Cleveland they're in the same time zone.
Yeah.
Like I can understand a little bit more like Golden State and Houston. Like, that's a pretty substantial difference in time zone to get like reacclimated to that, but.
But still, if that's just the way it is, like I always playoffs. Just one more thing that kind of came to mind is just with every sport, I think playoffs should be. It's hard to judge, and I think this is too hard to fix. But I feel like you shouldn't. If 2 series are done before Game 7, you should start the series earlier.
Yes,
I know it's logistically hard to plan.
Yeah.
Especially with basketball and hockey with arenas, having other events, but like. It's just when sometimes it's like 4 or 5 game series, and then you gotta wait even longer for the new seed because they're like, well, they could have got the Game 7. I was like, well, if you play Game 5, and then you have 3 days off until Game 6, and another 3 days until Game 7, you're not starting the next series for another week and a half.
Yeah, exactly. Damn near 2 weeks.
So
it just says like I say, it's just. And I mean, like I said, I understand it. Like, they want to push this out as long as possible, and I'm actually not too upset about it. Because I mean, like it's something that you complain about while it's happening, but at the end of the day, it's just like, wow, I need basketball to like stretch out as far as possible because there's not too many other sports that I have to look forward to.
Basketball ends right in the middle of the dead season of the sports.
Yes,
year
exactly. I mean, because because there's like nothing else is going on. Baseball is like kind of in like that weird lull where like. You're not really paying
the summer.
Yeah, it's middle of summer. You're not really paying as much attention to baseball.
It's the middle of the season. It's leading into the All-Star break,
and that's why I'm I'm happy we have the World Cup this year to actually
World
look
Cup
forward
is
to.
This year. Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. Even though I don't really follow soccer.
I guess I'm cheering for Messi this year.
I don't know who I'm cheering for because it's definitely not going to be the United States. Nope. Seems like they're not.
They did not. I thought there was was it?
I think I'm just going to cheer for the black countries.
There was one, like, I forget if it was Ireland or if it's like a nomadic like country, like was Iceland or like Finland or someone like is the super underdog. Like they shouldn't have made it even like in the qualifying, and I think they're like in the World Cup. I could be totally wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it's someone like up there. Yeah, made it in. So, but I just want to see Messi win a World Cup. It's kind of like the Ovechkin Stanley Cup. Yeah, like you always want to see a good player.
What you deem as like one of all time greats. Yeah, so, I want to see like.
And I like Messi.
I do too. I'm sure it's called Argentina.
Yeah.
Argentina, let's go. It's gonna be something like Germany or something like that. Germany won the last one. Yeah. Didn't they?
No. Yes, they did because they destroyed.
Didn't they destroy Argentina?
No, they destroyed Brazil because it was in Rio.
That's right.
It was the semifinals. It was like 7-2. Yeah. And like they were just so mad. Hold on, I need to look this up because I honestly don't remember.
They beat them bad.
2014 World Cup to the internet.
So I'm excited.
Quarterfinals. Oh wait, round of 16. Yeah, those were evenly close. Quarterfinals. That was evenly close. Yeah, 7-1.
7-1. I thought it was something like that. Yeah.
And then it was and then Brazil lost 3-0 in the bronze medal game.
Oh, the consolation game.
Yeah, and then Argentina won 4-2 on penalties in the semis, but lost 1-0 in free time. Okay. Or full time. Never mind, not free time. Every game has FT. I thought that meant free time. It doesn't just say final.
Yeah.
Like every other sport, you see final, you think, okay, regulation.
Right.
Yeah, but they split. It was 1-0.
Soccer doesn't want to be difficult.
Although I do like the Netherlands past couple of cups, just because they somehow came from nowhere. What was the last one? Was it 2010 World Cup? I think nobody expected Dutch to do anything, and they made it to like the semis.
Who won in 2010? Was it? That was Italy, right?
Yes,
I think it was Italy.
It was Italy.
Look at us, soccer connoisseurs.
Because I was watching at my friend's graduation party. She graduated with, technically my brother's friend, a family friend, because it was my godmother. Okay. Who is super Italian. And her husband, my godfather, super Irish. But yeah, everybody was like, let's go Italy. So,
it's in Russia this year too, right?
Yeah, it is in Russia.
Because there was so many things that happened.
Because they were talking about during Sochi.
Yes.
The World Cup was going to be in Russia.
How did Russia Russia land the Winter Olympics, like a pretty recent Winter Olympics and the World Cup that close together?
Same way Rio won, they had the Olympics and the World Cup and something else.
Wait, was it Rio?
They had the 14 World Cup and then the 16 Olympics, and then I think the Summer Olympics, and then I think they had one other.
So it was the 2010 Olympics, 2010 World Cup. That was one in South Africa, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Well, wherever. I think they played in 3 or 4 different countries in Africa.
Yeah. It was in Africa.
It was in the region of South Africa.
Yeah.
They weren't playing in Egypt. They were all staying in the region.
Yeah. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. But yeah. Okay. Well, now that we dropped our soccer knowledge, the full extent of our soccer knowledge, we'll get into our main topic, and that is, like I said earlier, the best teams to never win the championship. So I want to get into 2 things first before we actually get into the topic. One, our research department is depleted due to budget cuts. So we might not have the 1936 Giants never winning the World Series. We can't. That's just unreasonable. So it might be a lot. It probably will be a lot of more recent 90s, 2000s teams. Yeah. That's what we grew up on. Yeah. The second thing is we're looking at individual seasons. So not a 3 or 4 year run of a good team to never win it. Okay. We'll just look at seasons. I'll explain why once we get to the team. Actually, we're going to start with that team. So, to start off, I'm going to say the 07 Patriots. Kind of low-hanging fruit, but just to kind of get into it.
18-1.
Yeah, 18-1. 16 in the regular season, and they dominated the regular season. Playoffs were iffy, controversial calls, and they were put to the test and lost in the Super Bowl, obviously. But yeah, I think they were just super good, and when they finished 16-0, you're like, well, who's gonna beat them,
Yeah.
And they did. So putting off like Spygate and the Patriots' reputation and stuff, just looking at that individual season, they're definitely up there. It's hard to.
Yeah, I mean, with the stats that they put in that year,
Oh, that was Randy Moss's first or second year. Right?
Yeah, he was just
running down the sideline.
Yeah, he was just running a 9 round. It's like, all right, I guess.
I remember not the Super Bowl, but the last regular season game when they played the Giants, and they did that play with Moss, and they double teamed him, and they didn't get it, and he ran the same exact route the next time, and it was single coverage, and he just beat the guy, burned him. And so. But yeah, 07 Patriots. This isn't like a list or ranking. We're just saying teams that have come to mind. We're not saying what team is better or should have won over another. So to get into baseball, not that we won't come back to football.
Yeah.
The 2001 Mariners, I think, if we were ranking them, would be number one. They won 114 games, which is ridiculous. They had Ichiro. That was Ichiro's first year.
Oh, wow. That's a long time ago.
Yeah. He completely destroyed everybody. Had the most hits in the league, I think. Had won Rookie of the Year. Off the Baseball Reference, because I want to get these stats right, because it was just so crazy. They didn't even make it to the World Series, which was crazy. They lost to the Yankees in the ALCS.
Wow.
Yeah, and they lost in 5, too. No, not the 2012 Mariners. 2001 Mariners. Record 116, so I was actually too shy. 116 and 46. They finished first in the AL West. Let's see by how many games. By 14 games. And so the Oakland A's had 102 wins and finished second in the division. The Rangers finished at 73 and 89, which isn't good, and finished 43 games back in 2001.
Wow. That's insane.
Yeah. And then you have, I want to get Ichiro right. Let's see here. Oh, it doesn't say stats. Hold on. Baseball Reference is great, by the way. Good, it's his first one. Batted .350 on the year. Had 242 hits. That wasn't even, oh wait, no, that was by year. 242 hits. And he had 56 stolen bases. And he won MVP and Rookie of the Year, along with the Golden Glove and Silver Slugger.
That's incredible.
And they had other people too.
Right.
They had Jamie Moyer in his prime, still throwing 85 miles per hour. But Jamie Moyer, they had Mike Cameron, who was a pretty solid outfielder in his own right. And it's just whew, man, how do you not win? How do you win 116 games and not win? Not even make it. They had Brett Boone and Mike Cameron and Edgar Martinez, the Hall of Fame border.
Yeah.
Scott Pasenik, John Alderud, Jamie Moyer. It's a solid team. And you finish 116 and 46 and not win it.
There's a lot of teams like that too. It's just been most recently, you can't talk about this list or this topic without referring to the most recent Warriors team. 73-9.
That was
the best record
2 years ago, right?
Yes, that was the best record in regular season record in NBA history, and ended up losing in the finals.
They lost in Game 7 though, right?
Yes, because that was when they had a 3-1 lead.
Yeah. Oh, they did. Yeah.
And to not only lose, but losing in historic fashion, being the first team in NBA history to give up a 3-1 lead in the finals. That's.
So I need to share my experience of Game 7.
Okay.
I was at our previous place of employment.
Right.
It's a Sunday night. Yep. Game doesn't start till 9.
Tie it up. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. This will be similar to that Squadcast episode where me and other Ryan were watching WrestleMania with a regular Ryan.
Right.
So just every so often, oh my God. So, yeah, Scaps just started up. I don't know who that was. Who's number 32?
That's 92.
92.
As Evgeny Kuznetsov.
Oh, man. Kuznetsov again.
Yeah.
5-hole. All right. Yep. So that was a live update, which will be out hopefully by this time next week.
Oh, look at that.
I've been getting better.
Yeah. We're moving along.
Yeah.
Was it 19 tonight?
Yeah, 19 went up earlier today, so this is 24. Hopefully I can get it up. Oh. Still alive. Alright. That scramble's done. Yeah. But yeah, the Warriors. Okay, my experience, right? Game 7. First of all, I need to prelude this with Game 6. Right? I know this is kind of off topic, but Game 6, it was 7:30 at night. Game doesn't start till 9, and by that, it doesn't start till like 9:30.
Right.
Everything happens,
yeah, exactly.
Right? Me and Ryan, I can say him because he's been on here enough times, got cut. We were in a restaurant, so if you don't know what that means you're good for the night. Like, you're done taking tables, and you just do your side work and go. Right? The manager cut us at 7:30.
Which is dumb.
It's super dumb, but if I'm cut, I'm cut. I'm not going to argue that. Right? Cut us at 7:30. Right? We both finish all our work and are waiting to get signed off. So by this time it's around 8:30. Right? But if it's only the one manager, it was that manager who was expoing food at the time, and we started to get the rush, but it wasn't full yet. Like, if it was a regular night, they could have survived without us. But the fact that he already cut us, and then at 8:30, I walk up to him and say, hey, like, I'm done everything. Can you sign off on me so I can leave and not work this game? He goes, oh, you know what? We're going to have to put you guys back on. He's like, do you mind taking tables? I was like, well, now I just lost an hour of tables.
Right.
Like, that's not fair. And you can't uncut me. Like, how is that fair to me? Like, like, I shouldn't be fixing your problems. Like, I mean, he was the only manager on, so I wasn't really in a position to do anything. Just I just sighed at him. I was like, serious? He's like, yeah, you just just go back to the section you were in. And then Game 7 happened. It was Father's Day.
God.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Father's Day wasn't as bad as Mother's Day.
It was a match made in hell right there.
Yeah, Mother's Day was bad. Like, but Father's Day was, you know, and going in and working, and then it gets 9 o'clock, and they're supposed to close at 11, and people are still there, and I had a table of, like, they were like, oh, okay, like, it was like 8 or 9 people sitting in, like, a 6-top booth, right? And they sit down, and they're just like, we have others coming. I'm like, well, this table we're already over on this table. Like, we can't add more people. Yeah. 1, because it's safety. Right. Yeah. And 2, because you'd be uncomfortable. Like, why do you want more here? And they're like, oh, you could just bring one of these, like, side tables over. It's like, no, I can't do that. That's not a thing. Like, what if people want to sit there? Like,
such a miserable place to be.
Yeah. I'm so glad I'm not there anymore. So that was happening. And then they all wanted separate checks. Because of course. So it's 11 o'clock at night. Oh no, it's like 10:30. Because I think they knew everybody left at halftime because it was like we were closing at 11. Yeah. Right. So I took care of that too. It was not fun doing like 9 individual checks, you know, and figuring out who got what. So at 9:40 or 10:45, a dad and his son come in, right? And they asked to sit down. I was like, just so you know, our kitchen closes at 11. Right. I was like, we can get you the food in anytime before then, but just so you know. And they're like, okay. They order their food, right? It's 11:05 by they're done, and I drop off the check because it's fast closing. Yeah. So I'm like, I do that classic move. Yeah. Here you go.
I'm going to drop this off and roll out.
So I dropped it off, and he calls me back, and he's like, hey, like, we wanted to get dessert. I was like, I told you ahead of time, like, our kitchen closes at 11. He's like, yeah, but we were already seated. I was like,
that's not how that works.
Like, yeah. So I talked to the manager. I was like, hey, like, they want dessert, but it's 11:05. What do I do? Like, I already told them our kitchen's closed. He's like, well, give them dessert. I was like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, like, we can't turn them away. I was like, we can.
That's like the worst thing in the world to say about a restaurant. I was like, oh, you can't turn them away. Like, yes, you can. like people can hear, like, you can tell somebody no.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think that's a lot with, like, corporate restaurants, because I've heard from, like, local places, they'll do that a lot. Yeah. So I rang it in at 11:05. I told the cook, I was like, sorry, like, I didn't want to do this. I told him the kitchen was closed, and I was like, blame the manager. Like, it says my name on the check, but blame the manager. Yeah. So I had to finish this table and then, you know, clean, like, at the end of the night, clean the section and everything. I didn't get out till, like, 12:30. Yeah. And all because the Warriors blew a 3-1 lead. But yes, back to that. 73 wins, 73-9.
Yeah.
And not winning.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Who else?
Also blowing the lead.
Yeah.
I had a couple baseball.
Oh, you got this. Another one on this list is like the '90s Buffalo Bills.
Oh,
going to four straight Super Bowls and not winning a single one. Not only that, but like how badly they lost some of those games. Like at the time, like they given up the most points in Super Bowl history to the Dallas Cowboys at 52. It was like 52-17, and the Cowboys would have scored another one, but that was a Leon Lett fumble where he was trying to be like Michael Irvin, and he was trying to like cross the goal line all cool and everything like that with the ball out, and the guy sprinted out and knocked it out of his hand, and it rolled out the back of the end zone. So like that's tough, and like they had a really good team.
Straight too. Like
I mean,
Jim
like
Kelly,
Thurman Thomas, who, like they just retired his number this week. Andre Reed, Kutztown's finest. Like they had a good team. I mean, Bruce Smith? He was a defensive end, right? Bruce Smith.
Sure.
I think so. That's like they had good talent. They had like Hall of Fame type players, but they just lost 4 Super Bowls straight in a row.
Yeah,
that's
I don't think that's ever gonna happen again.
No, because
there's no way.
Because like with the Super Bowl, like the quote unquote Super Bowl blues, that's like it's very tough to see a team like get back to the Super Bowl after losing it like the year before. Even when the Denver Broncos, like they had gotten blown out by the Seahawks in that Super Bowl, like it took them like a year or two to come back, and then like to eventually beat the Panthers. Yeah. Panthers still haven't been like
that was one team I was thinking of too, because not every other year they've been all right.
Oh, the Panthers. Okay,
yeah. But that specific year, they went 15-1, had Cam as MVP.
Yeah.
And they looked pretty good.
They had a good defense too. I mean, Luke Kuechly was a good, up there for like defensive player of the year, kind of.
Yeah, and they were doing well, and then they got to the Super Bowl and just shit the bed.
Yeah, literally. Yeah,
they
fell apart.
Like a passing touchdown, right? Wasn't that?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Wasn't that like the first Super Bowl without a passing touchdown?
I think so. Because of how bad Peyton Manning was in that time.
Like they were
just defensive touchdowns. Yeah. Von Miller won the MVP.
Right. Yeah.
He was like the second defensive MVP to win like the defensive player to win Super Bowl MVP.
He was only the second?
Yeah, I think.
Because the Seahawks won it that year. Yeah, maybe third. That's fine. Yeah. Oh my God, what's happening? My phone just had a seizure.
In the and now I know you said we're gonna mainly address like the 90s to 2000s.
Well, I mean, we're not,
because that's what we do.
If we know of any.
But the 1970s LA Lakers. Because they had that was a roster that they had that Elgin Baylor. They had 4 Hall of Fame players on their roster, and a 5th player who ended up being a Hall of Famer, but not because he was a player, but he was a really good coach in Pat Riley. So they had 4 Hall of Fame players. They had Gail Goodrich, Jerry West, Elgin Baylor, and Wilt Chamberlain, and they could still never beat the Boston Celtics. Because that was back when it was like those two teams. It was those two teams.
Because aren't those two teams like they won the most championships and it's not even close?
Yes, not even close.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and even the Celtics have won like Bill Russell himself has 11 championships.
They're both in the 20s.
I don't know if it's the 20s. And I know the Lakers are close to being in the 20s.
But then the next team is still like single digits.
Yeah, like 8 maybe.
It's like the Yankees of basketball.
Yeah,
it's like the Yankees have 27 and the A's are next with 11. Like,
really? I didn't know that either. Next, yeah.
Fun fact. The A's were good in like the 70s and 80s. Like
the A's have always been so A's when I've known them.
Yeah. Hey man, hating on the money ball.
But like I mean, they're just like that was a tough, because like I said, they have 4 Hall of Fame players. Like you had a guy in Wilt Chamberlain who's literally changing rules in the league. You have Jerry West, who's literally the logo for the NBA, and Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor was like a player before his time too. Like Elgin Baylor was like one of those guys who like had like those highlight kind of dunks back when nobody else really had that. I don't think the Milwaukee Bucks ever won a championship back when they had Oscar Robertson, and that was when they had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar before he was even Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That was them. Because they had Lou Alcindor, yeah. So yeah, I mean that's another team.
Well, speaking of the A's,
yeah,
2002 Moneyball year, 103 wins. They And they lost in the ALCS.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. No, ALDS.
Oh.
Holy God, they lost in 5, so not too bad. But
Yeah.
They lost to the Twins. Yeah, not even to like the eventual champs. They lost to the Twins. Not that the Twins are bad. They had 94 wins that year and won the division by 13 games. But like, if you have 103 wins, like, and you have Moneyball, you know, like that was the year was it too where the Mariners finished 3rd with 93 wins. So
wow,
before the second wild card too. And the Rangers had 72 wins. Anyway. And also, I can't not say it, but the Phillies between like 2010 and 2012 with the starting rotation they had.
Yeah.
Like, and again, another team did not even make it. How they never made it with the Phillies. You know, Cliff Lee made it in 2010 and 2011 with the Rangers, but like, you have Halladay, Lee, Hamels, Oswalt, and then a rookie Vance Worley. Yeah, Oswalt was good. I know, he was like sneaky good. Like, you don't think about him, but when you look at his stats, you're like, oh, he was pretty good. Like, there was a reason that rotation was hyped up the way it was, you know.
Didn't he play for the Giants for a while?
Probably. He's been around. You know, he had a good solid like 3 or 4 years with the Phillies, and then he got traded, and stuff happened. So he's been kind of a traveling man, you know, as they say.
It's been a good team that's like not won at all. They can be like players. I mean, you look at
players. I was thinking that could be a different topic.
Yeah,
but it's like what's his name?
Sanders is like the one that I think of.
Who's
Dan Marino?
Dan Marino. That's the one I was. Yeah.
Like it's interesting. I mean, you gotta have like really good stats. But still make it to the Hall of Fame as a quarterback and not win a Super Bowl, you know?
Yeah. Well, I don't know how heavy it weighs. I think some people are. We talked about it a little bit in our Hall of Fame episode, but how heavy like having a championship weight, like because not
especially if you're a quarterback. Like, it's just heavier if you're a quarterback. That's what it is.
Yeah, I guess. So trying to think of hockey. I was gonna say forget hockey, but the Blackhawks last year, you know, they got swept by the Preds.
They got swept by the quote-unquote 8 seed.
Yeah, and it was I know I'm kind of bending my own rules here, but they won 3 in 5 years.
Yes,
you know, like, and they made it to the conference finals or conference semis, like in the years they didn't win.
Right.
Like they were such a good team.
I used to hate them so much.
Taves and Kane.
They used to be out there with the Penguins for my level hatred because they were like
they just always won. Like,
it was just a man of bandwagon. That was like always happening. All Blackhawks, and then like Blackhawks like start losing, and then start seeing a lot less.
Yeah, this year they didn't do so well.
Yeah,
the last year they had, I think I looked it up, they had like 109 or 103 points. Like they beat the century mark and lost in the first round. Like
they didn't even make the playoffs this year, right?
No, they only had like 79 points this year. Wow. Yeah, but I mean, just looking back last year, come off that run. Yeah, that's like borderline. I hate the word, but dynasty.
Yeah.
Like you're doing so well for like a 5 or 6 year stretch, and then not win it. Yeah. And you're still that good in the regular season, and then you just that was.
I feel like you could say that about the Caps, like the last 4 years.
Oh yeah,
they had like the best regular season record.
That was the thing on my mind too, like the President's Trophy. It's the curse of the President's Trophy. Yeah, like, it's the only team to win it is the strike shortened season with the Blackhawks.
So I'm just glad that they didn't win. The Capitals didn't win it this year. I'm like, oh man, they didn't win it this year. They might have a shot.
Yeah. Who did win it this year? It wasn't the Golden Knights, was it?
No, I don't think so. It might have been the Thunder or the Lightning. Might have been them.
All right, this is a research heavy
show.
Yeah. For non-hockey fans, while I'm looking this up, the President's Trophy is the team with the most amount of points at the end of the season, because NHL doesn't do games; they do points.
It was Nashville.
It was Nashville?
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
117 points.
117 points. Yeah. Lost in the second round to the Jets.
Curse of yeah. Losing in the second round.
Jets.
And Jets
came out of nowhere too. They were terrible last year.
Yeah, they were terrible. Wow, for a few years. Wow, I didn't realize Chicago was that bad.
Yeah,
I didn't realize
they were bad this year. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yep, Washington only 105. 105 points this year. Gotta love it. I didn't realize I always forget how many teams make the playoffs.
It's like half the league.
Yeah.
Good 16. I think they have 31 teams now because Vegas.
Yeah, because Vegas.
And
God, they
Seattle
make another team.
Seattle might get a team.
Give me something.
Yeah.
I can't have an odd amount of teams.
I think I was talking to my coworker who's a huge hockey fan. His uncle is actually the trainer on the Dallas Stars.
Oh, really?
Fun fact.
Wow.
Did
you see the this is off topic right here?
Nah.
But did you see the Lehigh Valley Phantom? They had the longest hockey game.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
The dude had 96 saves.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. They would have 6 or 7 overtimes or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just end the game. Do a shootout or something.
Can in the playoffs.
I know. It was like the playoffs for the AHL.
Yeah, they're doing well now, the Phantoms. Lehigh Valley. Did you see the tweet I did? Was it yesterday?
Oh man,
it was my time hop of Seth Smith's Family Barbecue.
Oh, I didn't see it.
It's so stupid, but it's so funny. They tweeted at the Reading Phillies, and they were like, "Why aren't you called the Rainbows?" That was 4 years ago. I tweeted it. I was like, "This is the best tweet of all time. Don't at me."
I'm sure. I feel like Cespedes Family Barbecue would have had a really good tweet about when actual Cespedes slid in a second and his diamond neck was broke.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah. Yeah,
I meant to check out your Twitter feed when that happened because I feel like that was
yeah.
that
I forget that happened a while ago. But yeah, if you want to search their feed, yeah. Oh my god, those guys are so funny. They did one of my favorite things they did during free agency is they made a matrix of teams. Free agents and the teams best fitted. It was this four quadrant matrix.
Okay.
And it was if they have the money, do they need the position? If they don't have the money but need the position, and if they don't need them, stuff like that, right? And they're some of the regular free agents, like Arrieta and other, I think Carlos Santana, and who else was a free agent this year? Somebody else. It was teams were spread out. They're oh, this team has the money and they need to fill this position. Yeah. It's this team has the money but they don't need it. Then they got to Otani, and every team was up top. It was because who doesn't want him? And it was really split. Well, these teams don't have the money, but they need him. It was these teams have the money and they need him. Every team needs him. They're great. I just want to go up because they're in New York City now because they got hired by MLB.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they right for MLB now.
Really, that's awesome.
Yeah, they Snapchat from the office and everything. Yeah, I just want to go up and meet them. Alright, we're at that time.
The week in review time?
Yep, week in review. So what happened this week? We had the playoffs going on.
Yeah. Robinson Cano was suspended for 80 games.
Yeah, that was a big story.
Thus ending his Hall of Fame bid.
You think that one thing is going to end them?
If we're looking at history, history of them leaving out players with any kind of a failed drug test type thing on the resume, I think you have to. I mean, even if he does get to 3,000 hits, which I think is very likely,
he is. Yeah. No, he's not playing for 80 games.
Right. Yeah, he's 35 now too.
He's over 30.
Yeah. So
yeah, he signed a 7-year deal. And that was 2 or 3 years ago.
Because they signed him to a big contract, and then a year or two later, they signed Nelson Cruz to a big contract. After Nelson Cruz had the 40 home run season with the Orioles.
Yeah. That was him and Trumbo both had 40 home runs, right?
Yes.
That year.
Yes.
Was that 2 years ago?
When
not to bring up bad feelings, but when they lost to the Blue Jays in the wild card.
Was Nelson Cruz in that team? I don't know. I don't know. They all kind of blend together.
I mean, yeah, to that point in life, you're just
Some local sports news.
Oh boy,
Adam Jones just bought Cal Ripken Jr.'s house.
Really?
Yeah,
that's not too far from our studio.
It's not. It's I pass there on my way to work every single day.
Yeah, I used to go by there a lot. Yeah, when I took the back route.
And you can't not have a baseball player because there's a batting cage in the house.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was.
Yeah, and it was initially listed at $12.5 million. Yeah, no big deal. But I think he bought it at auction for a substantially less than a fraction of the price. Because it was on the market for so long, 25 acres.
Yeah, it's a
bowling
nice
alley
area
inside the house. Yeah, it's got to be nice to have. Just drop a few $1 million on it.
Well, Chase Utley once bought 2 houses. It was in I don't want to say the farmland, but the part of South Jersey where South Jersey is just a mix of everything. Rural. Yeah, but more rural. And he bought 2 houses and just knocked the second one down because he wanted privacy. He was too overwhelmed with the media and people. He's a soft-spoken guy to begin with.
Right.
But my mom saw this and she was like, "Man, I could just knock down a second house." I was like, "Well, you're Chase Utley. You're the face of Philly sports for 5 years."
Right. Also, I didn't know that the Dodgers were as bad as they.
They're having a bad season.
They have 17 wins on the season.
Yeah,
17 or 18. Because I know they won today, but I was like, I didn't know that they were that far below 500. I'm like, what happened?
They're in 4th place. They're 17 and 26. Yeah, Diamondbacks went first. Two games up on the Rockies.
That's not surprising.
It's not really.
But the Diamondbacks were in the playoffs.
They were a wild card team last year. I think they lost in the wild card game.
But they lost J.D. Martinez, so I guess that is kind of surprising.
They did lose J.D. Martinez. Who is he on the Red Sox now?
Yes, he is on the Red Sox.
Because he's on pace for 56 home runs.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Which
I'm used to that. I'm
Corey Seager's out for the year. That's why.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, what is it? Is it Kyle Seager? I think it's Kyle Seager. You know, last year in baseball when they did the players weekend and they did all the cool names on the uniforms. That weekend. Yeah, Kyle is on. So Corey Seager was he rookie of the year last year or 2 years ago? He was a huge name, kind of revamped.
Because it was a couple years ago that was Corey Seager, and then it was Peterson last year, right?
Was it Peterson? Or vice versa? I don't know, but yeah. The point is, Corey Seager is famous, right? He became a big name in LA, and people love him. So Kyle Seager, right, plays for the Mariners. Nobody knows who he is. So on the back of his jersey, he put Corey's brother.
That's good.
I think that was my second favorite jersey. I'm a little biased though because Aaron Althea from the Phillies went Aaron.
That is good.
Yeah,
that is good.
So that was a solid tweet. And what's his name? Hoskins couldn't do it because he got called up a week before, so they didn't have his names in or anything. So he just said Hoskins. Everyone else had all this cool stuff. But yeah, Corey's brother. But yeah, so we can review what else happened this week. What's going on in the NBA? Because I kind of lost track of the playoffs.
Well,
Rockets are tied with the Warriors?
Yes, they're 1-1.
1-1 as of this recording.
Yes.
As always, gotta put the disclaimer.
And then the Celtics are up 2-0.
They are, yeah, that was about
which is huge.
2-0, yeah. I went down 1-0. I was like, yeah.
Right,
now
exactly.
It's 2-0, and I was like,
right, it's okay. This is a little bit more interesting, especially with them being having not lost a home game in the playoffs this year.
Oh, they haven't?
No.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And you couple that with the fact that they just don't. They don't have
LeBron too much. Yeah.
LeBron had a 40-point triple-double on Monday, and they still lost.
Yeah, that's insane.
You had a 40-point triple-double.
That's so insane.
You still managed to lose because he doesn't have anybody else.
No, it's showing now.
Yeah. It's showing he needs a viable number 2 option because Kevin Love has been so used to being a number 3 option in Cleveland that he just that's where his default role had happened. But they don't have a second go-to person that's yep, I can go to him if LeBron wants to pass the ball out or just score or they don't have that. I mean, they traded away the guy that they thought that could be was Isaiah Thomas. They traded him away, and they just don't have depth. And the Celtics have that much better of a coach than the Cavaliers do. Brad Stevens is such a good coach. He was good at Butler. Yeah, and
he made the transition to college to pro, which in any sport is tough to do.
Yeah, I mean, look at Billy Donovan. Look how Billy Donovan coached 2 championship teams, back-to-back championship teams with the Florida Gators, and he's been in the league with the Rockets, or not the Rockets, but the Thunder for a while. He's gotten them they've been to the playoffs. Yeah, he's also had.
They haven't made a run.
They've
losing the first or second round every year.
Yeah, exactly.
It's still not that doesn't mean he's a bad coach, but comparing him to Stevens, that just shows how much better Brad is.
And it's all because look at the talent that Billy Donovan has had on his team. I mean, he's always had Russell Westbrook. This year he had Russell Westbrook, Paul George, and Carmelo Anthony. And look at Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens is doing it with Terry Rozier, Jason Tatum, and Al Horford. And that's not a knock on those players. It's just he's gotten them to play at a level that nobody expected him to play. Nobody really knew who Terry Rozier was. I mean, like they knew him briefly over at Louisville, but I mean, nobody really knew his NBA career to be all that much. And they're doing it without their two best players, in Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving, and they performed really, really well. Obviously, they're still they're in the Eastern Conference Finals, up to 2-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals. They have a legitimate shot at taking it. So it'll be interesting.
Without Kyrie
and Gordon Hayward. Yeah, because Gordon
Hayward.
Hayward.
This is how I lost time in basketball.
Well, he got one. I mean, everybody forgot about him because he just signed on with the Celtics, and then he shattered his entire leg in the first 6 minutes of the first game of the NBA of the season. Like, it was literally the very, very, very first game of the season. In the first quarter, in the first 6 minutes of the game, he fell down weird and shattered his leg. Well, like Kevin Ware style. Oh, like the bone wasn't out. Like, it was along.
Yeah, I was gonna say
along those lines.
Speaking of LeBron, there was a great Reddit comment. Fantastic Reddit comment. It was it was under the baseball subreddit. Right. And it was like Chipper Jones named his kid Shea because he loved playing in Shea Stadium.
Okay.
He had great numbers there, so he named his kid Shea, and then he named his second kid Cooper for Cooperstown. Right. So
Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So and one of the top comments was, "So is LeBron going to name his kid Air Canada Center?"
That's good. Yeah. Child LeBron's out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that was. Yeah. Any other major news? I feel like NL East is surprising.
Sports gambling is legal.
Yeah.
New Jersey's trying to get it done by the time the NBA Finals roll around, because that's just money. Printing off money at that point.
Moving back. My brother's gonna have a field day. He already bets on stuff.
Yeah.
He does crazy bets too. He'll put down crazy one. I have no idea where he's getting this money from. I honestly think it's drugs. Because he doesn't have the best job in the world. It's a solid job. Yeah. It's not the best. And when he lets me know how much money he's putting down, I'm like, where are you getting this?
These two things aren't adding up.
Yeah. He said he does he'll do $100 or $200 bet, but he'll do not two but three things need to happen, and it's a 10-1 payout. So he'll bet 1,000 on these three different teams winning. Yeah, is it a parlay?
Parlay card. Yeah.
So he'll do a parlay, and then he'll get $1,000 back. But he doesn't get $1,000 back that often. That's why it's gambling. He got that from my mom. Me and my dad are like, nah, we're just gonna enjoy it.
I put $10 down on the parlay card or $20 down on the parlay card. Like, oh yeah, you get $220 back if you put down 10 or something like that.
Yeah, sometimes it's worth it. You're like, all right, well,
yeah,
whatever. But when you do it a lot, it's not bad a lot, but just at a certain point, you gotta be like, is it worth it? But yeah. So I think the NL East, Braves are in first, Phillies are in second. So that's surprising.
I know the Braves in first. They perform really well. Yeah. I heard something about their run differential was plus 56 or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nationals are in third. They're 2 games back. Mets are 4.5 back, and the Marlins are 10.5 back. Of course they are already 10.5 back, and it's not even Memorial Day.
So the Orioles. Oh. Well, look at the Orioles in the
AL.
Yeah. We got the Red Sox and the Yankees.
Yeah. But the Red Sox and Yankees are both, I assume, on top of the division right now.
Yeah.
Because the Rays aren't doing much better. And who else?
It's going to suck one of those teams.
And the Blue Jays.
Has to be in the wild card.
Yeah.
And they're both so good.
Yeah.
I forgot the Red Sox still have good pitching and stuff.
Red Sox are sneaky good. Rick Porcello is
Chris Sale.
They did get Chris Sale this offseason.
Was it this offseason? I thought he played.
Was it last year?
I think it was
last offseason. It was an offseason move.
They got David Price the year before.
Oh right, David Price. And we were saying JD Martinez, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's Yankees and Red Sox.
And Bogarts.
Bogarts. That's it. Xander Bogarts. Because in his name is Red Sox.
All right.
Yeah. Fun fact.
Fact.
Speaking of fun facts, Bartolo Colonstadt coming at you.
Okay.
He made his debut 7 years before Facebook became a thing.
Jesus Christ.
And his last start was on a Facebook-only game. It was streamed only on Facebook.
he just like, creates new fun stats.
Yeah.
That's so great.
He hit a line drive, came back at him, and it hit him right in the gut. And he just took it.
Yeah,
and the manager was being interviewed. He's like, "Oh, I gotta check on my guy." So he walks up and Bartolo just like nods his head and then goes back. He just has a straight face on him the entire time. I was like, big sexy man. Yeah, that's fun. Yep. So that was our week in review. That was a fun week in review.
That was fun.
Yeah, a lot of
fun
stuff.
facts galore.
A lot of stuff happening this week, which will be like 2 weeks from now. Hopefully it's next week. I am planning on the next week. All right, so that has been the best teams to never win. Let us know, comment, like, share, subscribe, the things. I hate saying it, but it kind of has to be said. We want this to grow. We want to do things. We have ideas.
Also, Laurel or Yanni. Tim.
It was a black and blue dress. That's all I have to say. Enough of this shit. It's like every year there's something new.
Laurel or Yanni, Tim.
I refuse. Don't feed Kelvin. Don't answer that. Alright, on that note, squad